I'm going to bring her on. The great Iyanla Vanzant to put the perspective on this. That is my sister. Hello, Queen. How are you?
Takes a queen to know a queen.
Oh, I peep you. I see you. Well, listen, thank you. Iyanla Vanzant is the author of Spiritual Hygiene, and I could not think of anyone better to be here in this moment. That was a cleansing, Iyanla.
It
Iyanla.
was it was the most powerful demonstration of spiritual hygiene that I have seen publicly in a long time. I think it's
Mm.
for quite some time. It was just beautiful. It was heart centered. It was compassionate but powerful. It was clean, people. It was clean. I mean, you can make up whatever you want to make up about who they were talking about or what they meant, but
Oh,
it
we
was
know who they were talking about and what they meant.
well, they were talking about us. So, it was clean. And that's what spiritual hygiene is, clean living. And we know we're just coming out of this little shenanigans about my first lady. She will forever be my first lady. And the disrespect and the dishonor that was cast upon her. Now, I see it in a completely different way.
Tell
Okay.
me.
Okay. So here we have this 28-year-old man who makes his living pummeling other people in the face and the head. Okay. Who
You're talking about
shows
that
up,
gladiator UFC fighter. Go ahead. Yeah.
who shows up at the day before this event and he vomits on himself and
Couldn't
he
even
thinks that
walk
that
into
is,
the weigh-in.
I can't even imagine. But then after he's done this event, where 5 years from now nobody's going to remember him, his name, or whatever, what he did on the lawn of the house that black people built, what he
Crazy.
did in front of the building that hundreds of black men and women have cleaned and maintained and kept forever. What he did was brought to the awareness of this country the power of a black woman to take control of your mind and your mouth.
And that's what
Because
we kept saying.
of all the things he could have talked about, why
After
Michelle
you
Obama?
win something, you're going to think about Michelle Obama. I'm like, what?
But because her ancestors got up in his DNA. And while he meant it for evil, God meant it for good.
You know what?
Because
Can I tell
what
you, everybody
he
laughs.
Mhm.
Everybody laughs at me when I say the reason why Trump is up at 3 o'clock in the morning texting. I said, because the ancestors,
Don't let
the
him
people
sleep.
who built that White House, the slaves, they're like, Donald, we see you. That's why he's up.
Yeah, they
That
won't
is
let him.
why I keep saying that. And but who knows?
Well, you know what? This is what I say. I say he is a mother's son. I find it so interesting that we never hear anything about his mother, which tells
Oh,
us a lot. It tells us a lot about his heart. I don't even know her name. I don't even know her name. But he is still a mother's son. And particularly for us as people of color, red, black, brown people. I grew up in Brooklyn where the mamas hung out the windows. And whenever you was acting up or showing your behind, the mamas would yell out the window. So what we have to start doing in April is we have to start yelling out the window because the people around him are letting him get away with murder. And it's an
mm.
embarrassment. He's disgracing us. So we, as the people, have to start yelling out the window, boy, you better sit your... And you know how we're going to do that?
Yeah.
With our vote. With our vote.
Mm.
How we going to
So,
yell out the window?
and you hit something. I never really thought about his mom, but you're absolutely right. I kept saying that he was emotionally stunted and abused by his dad, who taught him racism at an early age. I kept saying that. And it's horrific in this moment. But talk to me about this cleanse that we all need in this
All of
moment.
us.
There's so much chaos.
Yeah,
You talk
yeah.
about spiritual hygiene, and I listen to everything you have to say because it's so poignant, so relevant, and so needed. And talk to us about cleansing ourselves and what you say in your book, Spiritual Hygiene, to get us straight in this moment of chaos, uncertainty, and fear.
Yeah. Well, spiritual hygiene, it's not an event, nor is it an emergency cure for what's wrong. Spiritual hygiene is the daily, consistent practice and devotion of clearing your mind, cleaning your heart, honoring your body, and aligning your soul. Those
Mm,
are the four pillars of spiritual hygiene: your mind, your heart, your body, and your soul. Because we are picking up so much wahala and conflammation. So then those are the four pillars. Then we look at the four domains: self-awareness, self-honesty,
mm,
energetic responsibility. That's the piece right there. And inner authority. We have to start becoming aware of how we do what we do and why we do it. Why are we so silent right now? You know, I'm a 60s baby. If you turned your eye left or right the wrong way, we was picketing on your doorstep.
mm,
We had our homemade signs and we was gonna let you know our displeasure. But right now we're quiet. We're acquiescing. You said something earlier and I wrote it down. People are free and they just don't know it.
mm.
We have become so enslaved. We
Come
are
on.
voluntary slaves.
Mm,
What somebody else says, what somebody else does, what somebody else thinks. We are so distracted and disconnected.
oof.
We no longer take accountability for the things we say and how we say it. When you look at what we're doing online, somebody showed me a video today of a baby, 4, who said, I'm over tired. I said, what? I'm over tired. She was saying she was MFing tired, and everybody in the background was laughing.
That's
I,
so
I
funny.
don't think that's funny.
Mm-mm.
But we look at these things now, and so we are free and we don't even know it because we have voluntarily enslaved ourselves to the discord, to the dissociation, to the separation, to the againstness of the world. And spiritual hygiene says become aware, pay
Become
attention
aware. Yeah.
of what you're doing, how you're doing it, and take responsibility for your energy as opposed to wearing what other people are putting on you.
Harriet Tubman, Grandma Moses, said, I would have freed 1,000 more slaves if only they knew they were slaves.
That's right. That's right. That's
And
exactly
this
right.
this is so on point. So all of your self-care tips are basically restoring our strength to go back to fight. And it's also about faith as well. Talk to me about those two pieces, the self-care to restore your strength to go back and fight. Because like you said, we're not seeing as many people fighting. And the faith to fight, to go ahead and just move, even if we don't know what the outcome is going to be.
You know, spiritual hygiene is much deeper than self-care. You know,
Mm,
your nails, your hair, your teeth, that's self-care. Spiritual hygiene is your sacred responsibility to show up in the fullness of who you are, to make life, community, home, family, world a better place to live, a place that is grounded in spiritual principle. And I'm not talking religious because you said faith. Okay, faith. What do we have faith in today?
mm.
Faith in our ATM card. We put our faith in a BBL. We put our faith in a dating app. We put our faith in so many things that do not honor our energy and our soul. So spiritual hygiene is deeper than self-care. You know what it is, April?
What
It's a
is it?
good jolt to get right.
A good
We
jolt to get
need
right.
some get right because we ain't right. Spiritual hygiene is how you get right for yourself, within yourself, about yourself, so that when you show up in the world, you don't be embarrassing your grandmother.
So what that's true. What should our contrarians know about this moment with the Obama Center and tomorrow, Juneteenth? Because it was strategic that the Obamas the first Black president, the first African American first lady to open this center
Yeah, yeah.
around and on Juneteenth.
Wait a minute. It's not a center. It's a presidential library.
They're not calling it a library. They're saying they're calling it a center.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm just saying in terms of the public purview. And we
Yeah,
didn't see the Kennedy Well, we did see the Kennedy Library. Most people don't remember that. But we didn't see the Reagan Library, Bush Library. We didn't see nothing like we saw today. The
right.
most
Well, we saw the Clinton Library. We remember
That's
that in
okay.
Arkansas. Yeah.
That's true. We did see that, but it didn't look like this. Even
It was
what
a
that we got.
bridge. It was a bridge. It was meant to build, love can build a bridge.
Yes. Um, so yeah, again, we're free and we've forgotten.
Mm.
And I think them opening this center today, all with private funding, just as they said they would do, was an opportunity for us to say, with intention and a clean heart, a clear heart, you can do anything. I mean, he's been out of office, what now, 12 years?
And he's so bad, they still have him on, they have his name on their lips.
Yeah.
His
So,
and hers.
It's a reminder, April, that we are free. We are free to choose. We are free to grow. We are free to build.
Yeah.
We are free to build. They built this center based on a clear intention and a clean heart and a desire to serve.
Yes.
That's the thing that I think Juneteenth represents for all of us. And that this center's opening. I'm a little sad as a Brooklynite that it kind of took over the Knicks parade, but that's
Oh,
all.
let's talk about that. Yeah. Yeah. Today was the day for the Knicks. I was on the plane flying and I was flipping back and forth between both. I saw the mayor giving them high fives and everything. Speaking of the Knicks parade, I'm so glad that you talked about the Knicks and you and your Brooklyn roots. So, do you think it's good spiritual hygiene for the Knicks to go to the White House? As I understand, the James.
Absolutely not.
Ooh,
Absolutely not. You see, and this is how we get co-opted. This is how we get co-opted. We buy into these ceremonies and celebrations and activities that denounce and demean who we are. Why would that team, 75% of Black men, go to the White House with a president who refused to denounce a man who denounced a Black woman on the White House lawn? Why would we do that? Why would we go to the White House? Let me practice spiritual hygiene. Let me get.
no, you one of those mamas who's screaming out the window. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're letting us know.
Why would we go to the White House with a man who threw paper towels at brown people in Puerto Rico in the midst of a hurricane and refused to give them money to get the
That was
lights back on?
term
Why
one. He sure did.
Why would we go to the president, to the White House with a president who just now, whatever you think of Iran or whatever you think of the Middle East or Israel or whatever, this is a man who stood up and said, if they don't behave, I'll just bomb the hell out of them. Who is he bombing? Where are the women and the children in Iran who don't have nothing to do with nothing that he's willing to kill? Why would you go to the White House with a man who's denounced handicapped people? Why would you go to the White House? Why would you do that? Because it's customary. Take your custom and put it where the sun don't shine.
Okay, Maureen says, no White House, please, Knicks. She's with you. Cheryl says, spirituality is our personal responsibility. She says, I, in all caps, love that exclamation.
It is. And you know what? Let me ask you a question. Forget my own personal thing. Again, for me, it's not the individual, it's the character. And when I'm looking at the leadership of this country, I see no character. For me, as a spiritual hygienist, it's not about right, left, right, wrong, good, bad. It's about integrity. And when I look at the leadership of this country, I see no integrity, no humanity. So for me, I ask myself, what principle What spiritual principle supports this team of mama sons and hardworking that represent the people of the biggest city, one of the biggest cities in this country? What
That's right.
spiritual principle are they engaging to go and shake hands and eat McDonald's hamburgers with a man who blatantly disregards women, people of color, poor people, gay, the LGBTQ community, and handicapped people? What principle? Is it love? Is it trust, faith,
He
humility?
doesn't have spiritual hygiene, let
Well, I don't
alone
know what
regular
he's got.
hygiene, but he doesn't have
He's not
spiritual
going to
hygiene.
them, they're
Yeah.
going to him. What is the principle that they are standing on to walk in that place at this time? I want to know that.
So Arlene says Knicks should not go to the White House. Consider the person. The president wouldn't let any of those players into the White House if they weren't on the Knicks team.
Because you know,
Whoo!
I am not my brother's keeper. I am my
My
brother.
brother.
And those men on that team from New York City, black, white, whatever, you know what? They are the brothers of the Central Park Five.
Come on, that's what I was getting ready to say. The
They are
Central
the
Park Five
brothers
who Donald
of
Trump
the
wanted
Central Park
dead,
Five.
who
Those
he wanted
men are
dead.
New Yorkers. Why would they go to the White House with a man who not only advocated for their execution, but when the system that he so loves and supports proved their innocence, he refused to apologize? Bad spiritual hygiene, lack of integrity, lack of humility, lack of character. Those are principles. That's what I'm standing on.
Yes, you are. Woo! You know you make me jump over a pew every time we talk. And there's no pew here. Suzanne says by going, they're normalizing racism and misogyny. So let's see. So Jim Dolan may go, but it doesn't necessarily mean all the team is going to go. Let's see what Jalen does. Let's see. Let's see what the rest, because he's the team captain. Let's see
See,
what they do.
if we don't take a stand, if we don't start yelling out the window, April, this is why it looks like this. This is why it looks like this. You know, I wrote online, oh my God, last year sometime, America is an abused woman. See, I lived in a marriage, an abusive marriage for 9 years. So I know what that looks like. How you get blamed for the things
Mm.
that they do. How you never know when the next slap is coming. And you spend all of your time trying to second guess yourself and walk slightly and be quiet so that they don't jump on you, so that they don't smack you. I was 6 months pregnant with a broken jaw, and they couldn't even wire my jaw because they couldn't give me the medication. I know what abuse looks like.
To
Hear me.
protect the baby. They couldn't give you the medication to protect the
Is an
baby.
abused woman. She's an abused woman. And we are all voluntarily participating in our own abuse. And if we don't stop, if we don't begin to practice spiritual hygiene, if we don't start cleaning up ourselves on the inside, we're going to remain afraid of what something on the outside can do. Listen, I'm 73 years old. I
I
got
can't
far
believe
less
it.
time, I got far less time here than I have. You know, Dr. Bernice Reagan Johnson said in one of her songs, you know, everybody runs around afraid to die. Well, you're going to die anyhow. So you might as well do something good. And that's when
Mm.
she said, wade in the water. Wade in the water. Because
I'm
God,
right across I'm right across the street from the Inkwell. I'm going to do it in polar bears in the morning. I'm going to wade in the water. Yes,
you gotta
wade in the
wade.
water, children. Oh my gosh, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water.
See, people don't know what that means. God's going to trouble the water. That means that the Spirit of the Most High will be
Mm,
present in the flow of life. And that
mm.
flow of life may be rough, it may be difficult, but you got to get in there knowing that it's the divine that's troubling the waters and that grace will save you.
The great, the honorable, the wonderful, the beloved. Hello, beloved. Iyanla Vanzant with her book Spiritual Hygiene. You know I love you so much,
I know.
and you made me jump over a pew today. Um, the Obama, you put the perspective on the Obama Center and Juneteenth at a time we're at an intersection, a harsh intersection, growing pains. Like you say, America is an abused woman. But I thank you for joining us today. And you are not going to be a stranger here. We want you back.
Okay, anytime, you know that.
Thank you. Guys, Iyanla Vanzant. Oh my gosh. Spiritual Hygiene, guys, put the book back up. Spiritual Hygiene. We're going to support Iyanla Vanzant. Spiritual Hygiene. Yes, you got to do it. A practice faith for a practical
Ah,
a practical path for clean living, inner authority, and divine freedom. Get the book anywhere books are sold right now. Thank you, Iyanla Vanzant. We love you. Spiritual Hygiene.